some point I'll get my video back. I'm wet because it's hot, man. I keep letting down my hair and stuff. So. Our AC is not working. The ironic thing is, we just had him out. He said everything was good. What he said was that there was too much. It was filled. It was overfilled. So you decompress some of it. Now it doesn't work. So yeah, this is life. So then some people knew it was broke. They didn't say anything about it. And when you do that, it puts things off. It's the weekend. Yeah. Sometimes your inaction will cause an action. And you ain't gonna want it. So just do it. Just do it. Get it the fuck over with. Just do it. Okay. All right. I had a meeting. Right. And this old timer was just saying, well, actually, I don't know how much time he has. But by the way he speaks, like he's got over 5 years. I know that for sure. I'm sure it's well over 10. You could just tell these things. All right. So, but he's talking about I've never had a sponsor. I'm a closed mouth friend. Okay, this is being terminally unique. Stop it, man. Stop it. Okay, because this is when you do that. I'm going to tell you what happens. They stop listening to you at that point. You may be trying to prove a point, but they're not going to be. I pretty much stopped listening to them after that. I'm like, this is bad. This is bad advice. I knew where he was getting to, but it turns people off, man. Welcome to Daily Trudge. My name is Dion. I'm an alcoholic. I'm a drunk. You know what I don't like? Substance use disorder. Alcohol disorder. Nadak, I have an idea. Why don't you shut up and stop calling us names? That's a good start. There we go. All right. So Trump was shot. I'm going to tell you something. It doesn't have to do with Trump, but I put this up too. If you are okay with people getting hurt and you get joy out of it, get the fuck off my page, please. Please just get off my page. I don't want it. Yeah, that's what I was saying on that. Oh, and if you're here, please say hello. If you dare. I won't give you a hard time. Much. All right. Everybody showed up earlier, so I'm not expecting anybody for this one. It's probably gonna be a rewatch. So, and okay, I have a lot of rewatchers. I did, so let's go there. Thank you. I don't know who you are. I have no idea who you are, but it does come back around to me that people keep telling me, Dion, you're helping more than you know. Okay, because they go out and they hear my name and play, and I'm like, oh, I didn't, my brain doesn't want to think it's doing that. It doesn't. I don't know why. It just doesn't want to believe it. If you were here last week, there was a poem I had written. I don't remember writing it. I don't believe that I wrote it. I did. It's true. It is 100% true. I even tried to bust myself going online. I wrote the darn poem and no one wrote it. I did. And it amazes me. All right. This is going to happen to you when you get older. Okay. You may not lose as much of your mind as I will, but okay. And that is kind of a joke, but it's kind of not. Alcohol can destroy parts of your brain, and I need to be reminded sometimes on what actually happened. So let's get to being terminally unique. This is really about tradition one. Tradition one covers our terminal uniqueness. So the steps are so we don't kill ourselves. The traditions are so we don't kill each other or start more crap. Okay. I say this quite often here, but it deems to be repeated, and I forgot it already. No, I didn't. There it is. The traditions are one long 10th step. They are. If you read the traditions, they're just one long 10th step of we tried this and it didn't work. So that's why we do it this way. No other program explains why they failed. Why? Because they wanted it to succeed. They wanted you. Okay. I'm going to use words that we don't really like. Hi, Amber, if I say it. Love you, honey. My mind's going a little too fast. So there are things that I hear in the program, like, okay, recovered is a big one. Okay. Now, I'm a recovered alcoholic, but I don't go into a meeting and say, my name is Dion and I'm a recovered alcoholic. And I'm going to tell you what that's doing. It's starting a fight, and I know it. You're going to start a fight doing that shit. And you know it because you're talking out of turn. Okay? You're doing that so people will argue with you so you can prove them wrong. That is manipulation. That's just honest. That's what that situation is. No, I'm Dion. I am an alcoholic. Sit. That's what I gotta be. Anything more than that is trying to be unique. Don't divide yourself from being divided. Put yourself in the herd. Look for things that make you feel. Look for things that you look for the similarities. There we go. Not the differences. Or just look for the similarities. Don't need to put the other part in. Why? See, we always like to do that, not the differences. But yet, those two words are horrible words. I use them all the time. I do what I can not to. Okay? But when we walk into a meeting and we do something that sets us aside from anybody else in the meeting, we are being terminally unique. Okay? Now, I'm a person who loves being the center of attention under my own time, and I like it when it's mine. I am. So I go live. Then people can choose whether they want to watch me and all these other things. Okay? Am I terminally unique? No, because you know what that's going to do? It's going to isolate me from my people. Okay? I've never relapsed. Bullshit. That's a lie. Okay? Relapse can happen before you get into AA. If you ever made somebody a promise to not drink again and you did, you relapsed. Stop lying. Okay? Now, you may not have relapsed since you got sober, but no shit. Duh much. See, it just, okay? Time does not separate us. No. Time does not separate us. And people that do think that aren't going to get the rest of the program. So pray for them that they're going to see that. The unity of Alcoholics Anonymous is the most cherished quality our society has. Our lives, the lives of all to come, depend squarely upon it. We stay whole or AA dies. Without unity, the heartbeat of AA would cease to beat. Our world arteries would no longer carry the life-giving grace of God. His gift to us would be spent aimlessly. Back again in their caves, alcoholics would reproach us and say what a great thing AA might have been. I'm going to tell you right now, like right now, let's say something happened and AA wasn't around, it would all be gone. I don't care what anybody says. I've been doing this way too long. Okay. Yeah, there's more things out there than AA. I'm not going to say AA is the only way. That would be silly and very closed-minded. Thing is, AA is the multiple pathways. Everything else is a spin-off. AA is a spin-off. Yeah, we think it's original. We're so full of ourselves. People have been doing this for thousands of years. We are not any smarter than the Romans. We're not. That was just a few short thousands years ago. Okay. The Earth's been around for billions of years. And to think we high and mighty human beings I have found when I try to be more than I am, things get jacked up, man. They do. When I go against the grain, when I don't do things the right way, it just gets all jacked up, man. Okay? It includes everything that I do. Podcasts are a good example. There's a lot of times people want to tell their story, but they're not ready. Or maybe something comes up that day. Maybe their kid is sick. God, that is because God does not want that to happen that day. It happens to me all the time. I was talking with a sponsee. We were reading the 12 by 12 in the middle of the 6th step. He gets a phone call. My hairdresser is going to be here shortly. I'm like, okay, we're going to power through this then. And then his sound went off. And I knew exactly. The answer came. That was immediate. The answer was, no, you're not. No, you're not. You got time. You're going to stop there. And that is where we stopped. We're like, you know what? God's talking to us. How about we just go on with our day then? That's where we're supposed to do it. What is that? Delayed gratification. It is listening. And we both had a great fucking day. Wow. Huh. Does this mean someone anxiously asks that in AA the individual doesn't count for much? Is it be dominated by the group and swallowed up in it? Now, you're not. Actually, we tout on individuality. We love it. Love it. Yeah. Okay? You are not terminally unique, but you are beautifully unique. We're not alike, but we're exactly alike. Isn't that kind of weird? It's like, isn't it weird that I would have drank with none of you, but you're my people? Why? Because you understand. To me, that's a fucking relief. For a person who has had to describe it every single fucking time, I'm tired of it. I'm 53 and I'm tired of repeating myself. Go fucking educate yourself. Sorry. I'll educate you. I really will. I have over 1,900 videos now. It was 1,800. Now it's 1,900. It won't tell me specifically. We may answer this with a no. We believe there isn't a fellowship on earth which lavishes more devoted care upon its individual members. Surely there is none which more jealously guards the individual's right to think, talk, and act as he wishes. No AA can compel another to do anything. No one can be punished or expelled. Our 12 steps to recovery, our suggestions, the 12 traditions which guarantees AA unity contain not a single don't. They repeatedly say we ought, but never you must. Why? Because we don't know. We don't know. I can't predict the future, so I can't say you must. But I can tell you this. It has been my experience that if you do the work, your life will change. That's it. I can promise you that. Your life will change for the better. I'll even throw in for the better. Okay? But beyond that, it's your attitude that decides the rest of it. Okay? It's your attitude, my attitude towards other people, towards God's world. You know, last night my didn't have the best attitude towards God's children. That's why I was with my wife. If anybody else would ask me to go, I'm not there yet. But I did it. I survived it. I got home at fucking midnight. All right. Let's get to the good stuff on here, right? Countless times. Okay, this just isn't very long. I'm just going to go ahead and fucking do it. To many minds, all this liberty for individuals spells sheer anarchy. Every newcomer, every friend who looks at AA for the first time is greatly puzzled, okay? And they're puzzled because we've always had the cart before the horse. We don't understand certain things. I didn't understand certain things yet. I was naive to all of it. Even when I came back in, I was a drug and alcohol counselor. But none of that would help me in the very beginning. That knowledge would come back and I'd be able to use it again. Okay. But not until Dion got to a point where he was worth having. Okay. And I can tell you this, you're worth having. In my eyes, you are. You know, I'm gonna give a good example. And I really don't like to get into politics. Okay. I didn't vote for Biden. But stop fucking making fun of him, please. Not seriously, man. I mean, I get what you're saying. I'm not going to go into how I feel about him being president. It has nothing to do with that. It has to do with the fact that he's a child of God and you're fucking disrespecting him. And it's uncool. I'm not good for anybody making fun of other people for your pleasure. I won't go for it. All right. Those who look closely soon have the key to this strange paradox, because that's what it is. It's paradox. What does that mean? It means the paradox is this. We were thinking about it incorrectly. It's not really a paradox. It's actually how things work. But to us, okay, so what is a paradox? Let's look it up. Let's look it up. I kind of know it, but let's see what paradox. Paradox. Just a moment. Just a moment. My phone has gone to crap. So it usually means just the opposite of something. Paradox. I'm determined to do this. So if you just kind of, there you go. Come on, internet. God, it's late. All right. There we go. A paradox is a statement that seems to contradict itself or go against common sense, but may actually be true. Okay, that helps. That helps. So this strange paradox, they see liberty. Okay. The AA member has to conform to the principles of recovery. His life actually depends upon obedience to spiritual principles. That means being a part of. That means putting aside being the special little person in the... I love being the center of attention. Okay? There's sometimes I speak and I do everything I can to make sure that the attention is not drawn to me. Because in my brain, it's like, oh, I love it. I love the attention. I love it. Okay. And it's not a good one. That's pride. Okay. So every meeting, right after the serenity prayer, I say, God, please give me the right words, not mine. I do that before I come on here. I didn't do it this time. But I didn't. So I can't say I do it all the time. All right. There's nothing wrong with being honest with yourself. How are you ever going to find out the fucking truth, man? I'm going to tell you the truth will fucking set you free. It's so fucking cool. All right. If he deviates too far, the penalty is sure and swift. He sickens and dies. It's not going to be, it'll happen. Bam. In a matter of days, if not days, weeks. For me, it'd be hours. I'd be in trouble. Okay. Now, I didn't get in trouble every time I drank, but every time I was in trouble, I'd been drinking. Okay. That's for me. At first, he goes along because he must. But later, he discovers a way of life he really wants to live. What did they just say? That you can get sober for any reason that you want. So this is what happened to me. I came into the program. I did not love me. I did the steps. Okay. I love me. I had to learn how to love myself. So what does it say here? At first he goes along because he must. Sober. I was sober. I was faking it till I made it. It works. It works. It worked for me. When people are like, fake it till you make it, that's crap advice. And you're a closed-minded twat. So. Okay. And then I did recovery for myself. I did the steps for myself. It won't work any other way. It won't work. Okay. But before you start going, oh, you got to get sober for yourself. Well, maybe you should have picked a better treatment center. Because that's treatment talk. That's treatment talk. And they don't know what the fuck they're talking about because they're not alcoholic. And then they're passing on bad advice. So, all right. Neither he or nobody else can survive until he carries the AA message. Oh, sorry. I skipped a line. And a very big line, too. Moreover, he finds he cannot keep this priceless gift unless he gives it away. I get addicted to giving it away because I love how I feel. That's plain, man. Be careful. Balance in all things. Okay. Somebody the other day said moderation in all things. I'm like, no. This isn't drugs. This isn't alcohol. I'm going for balance. Equal parts. All right. But that works for them. That works for them. And there's still nothing wrong with it. But see how we can all have our stuff and be friends? Is that cool? Yeah. All right. The moment this 12-step work forms a group, another discovery made. This is not going to happen to you unless you start a group, which most AAers will not. But, well, now we have them. So, I mean, you actually have to be careful on, where, what time, and everything else. But I tell you this, the Zoom meetings are disappearing quick. Okay? I went on everything AA, and I went through 3 other meetings before I actually found one that was there yesterday. That could be pretty fucking frustrating for a newcomer. Okay? It tells me certain things. Everything AA is a good app, but maybe not for the meetings. They can't keep up. Okay? There's a lot. It's overwhelming. realization dawns that he is but a small part of a great whole, that no personal sacrifice is too great for the preservation of the fellowship. Now, you may not be called to do it. We're all different, okay? But I literally had to give up everything. I sacrificed it all. Me, everything that I am, anything material, loved ones, everything. I was willing to sacrifice it all for the whole. He ain't gonna. It's the willingness. God would never, my higher power would never ever come and say, in order for you to stay sober, you got to leave your wife. That ain't gonna happen. That's not what we're saying. Said I'm willing. I will give up everything for the one thing, the right thing, the good thing. Because if I do that, then we all get it. If I do that, then we all get it. If I do it the other way, then I just get it, and then I feel good about myself. But then I'm isolated and alone. So that's only going to feel good for a little bit. It's not going to do anything to help me keep moving. So he learns that the clamor of desires and ambitions within him must be silenced whenever these could damage the group. It becomes plain that the group must survive or the individual will not. Okay? Sometimes a group is going to divide on you. Okay? It's all right. It's all right. It happens. Hopefully it doesn't happen out of anger and it's more like necessity. But sometimes you get a group of people that just see things differently. They want a group to run differently, and maybe there's 10 other people that agree with them. Now that doesn't make the first group wrong. It just makes it different. Okay? Now, does that mean I agree with it all? No. No, I don't. But AA needs to come in a lot of different forms or it isn't going to work. And I don't get to decide that. Not as an individual, ever. All right. So at the outset, how best to live and work together as groups became the prime question. In the world about us, we saw personalities destroying whole peoples. We're watching it now. In the world about us, the struggle for wealth, power, and prestige was tearing humanity apart as never before. We didn't even have social media yet. So read that the struggle for wealth, power, and prestige. This world, okay, social media is all about prestige. It's like every goal, like when I grew up, people wanted to be firemen or police officers or the president of the United States of America. Now everybody wants to be viral. No, you don't. No, you don't. You have no idea what that comes with. And it comes with a lot of bullshit. You don't want it. You don't want that many people fucking with you. I get that much attention. Because they're going to watch every single move that you make. And as soon as you make the wrong one, they're going to fucking call you out on it all over the internet. They won't ever say it to your face because they're nice people. Okay? Nice people are weak. Don't be nice. Be good. Okay? Now that doesn't mean that you shouldn't be respectful to other people. Nice means that I will lie to your face to save your feelings. That's what nice is. Okay? If strong people were stalemated in the search for peace and prosperity, that's what I'm being stalemated right now. Drives me nuts. What was to become of our erratic band of alcoholics? as we had once struggled and prayed for individual recovery, just so earnestly did we commence the quest for the principles through AA, which AA itself might survive. On anvils of experience, the structure of our society was hammered out. Listen to this. On anvils of experience. This is a good place to bring this up because somebody said, well, when Bill wrote the big book in a meeting, and I didn't say anything. I didn't say anything, so I got to get it off my chest. Bill W. did not write the big book. 100 people did. Anvils of experience. That's the miracle of the big book. That 100 alcoholics could agree on something. Okay? Go read the original manuscript. You would have never stayed sober. If we went by the big book that Bill W. wrote, AA would not be here. Okay? And I'm sure Bill would probably agree with that. We cannot just have one experience. We had to have hundreds. Okay? It used to say the only requirement for membership is an honest desire to stop drinking. There goes 80% of the program. What about planting the seed? Gone. It's gone. Okay. Think about it. Do you think Bill really wanted to be known for writing the big book? Think about it. Put yourself in his shoes and then sprinkle some humility on it. Pull that fucking feeling in. It's huge. You don't want that responsibility. You might think you do. I used to. Till I found out what it entails, what it comes with. Nope. Then I turn around, I'm like, yay, I only get like 3-4 people that come. That's why my stuff works. Thank you, Colin. And thank you, God, for taking away the counter. Now nobody gets one. All right, I'm going to finish this up. I've probably droned on a little. Yeah. Countless times in as many cities and hamlets, we reenacted the story of Eddie Rickenbacker and his courageous company when their plane crashed into the Pacific. I'm going to have to look up that story at some point. I don't know anything about it. Like us, they had found themselves. Oh, now I remember it. Okay. I don't know the specifics, though. Like us, they had suddenly found themselves safe from death, but still floating upon a perilous sea. There we are, sober and recovery. How well they saw that their common welfare came first. None might be selfish of bread and water. Okay. I tell you now, somebody was. There's too many people there. There's too many. There was at least one person. Okay. But when you have a group of people tend to become malleable. And their brain is like, okay, I'm not going to. Now, I know how to fish, but I don't know how to start a fire. See, we need each other. We need each other, man. Or you know what? I may even stay sober. But it would just suck. It would just suck. Because there'd be nobody else there. Okay? If I didn't do recovery, I would still run off my wife, my children. I would be miserable. We need each other, man. So when we walk around and say, I don't care what people think of me, when you say that, and I know this because I used to say it a lot, I don't give a fuck what people think of me. That's my low self-esteem talking. It's a defense mechanism so that I don't hurt. And I know that. So when somebody says that, I'm not going to yell at them. Why? Because it's the opposite. It is the opposite. Okay? I would do something more like this. Oh, I get that. I get that. Sometimes people get on my fucking nerves. And I just, and it hurts. So I cut it off. But I found out that I was kind of wrong on that, man. So I did this instead. No argument. I'm still agreeing with him. Always agree with him, especially if you've been there. And this they did find. Oh, I'm sorry. Each needed to consider the others, and in abiding faith, they knew they must find their real strength. And this they did, in measure to transcend all the defects of their frail craft, every test of uncertainty, pain, fear, and despair, and even the death of one, which they did not eat. Well, there's rumors. No, they didn't. It still goes through my head, and it's not true. It was one of those things that was put out there that wasn't true. So, thus has it been with AA. By faith and by works, we were able to build upon the lessons of an incredible experience. What are these lessons? They're the 12 traditions. The wonderful lessons. Learn from their lessons, please. Thus, it has been my faith where I've been able to build upon. They live today in the 12 traditions of Alcoholics Anonymous, which, God willing, shall sustain us in unity for so long as He may need us. All right. I'll wrap this up, but I'm going to reiterate. All your life, you've been treated different. You've been pushed around. You've been told you're this. You've been told you're that. Okay? This world has kept you separated. It has fucking isolated you. Okay? Keep in mind that communities would rather sweep you under the rug than face what you're going through. Okay? They would rather do that. So, it is not unusual. It is not surprising that we come in and be terminally unique. Why? Because we've never gotten any recognition and we don't know how it works, or let me rephrase that. I didn't understand recognition, and therefore I didn't know how it worked. The only recognition I knew most of my life was bad. Bad attention was better than no attention. And if I didn't get your attention, then I would do something bad to get it. And the consequences just wouldn't run through my mind. So now when I come here, I'm struggling, man. So these people are going to be terminally unique in the meeting. Okay? Unless they're your sponsor or you're close to them, I would probably stay away from that. Okay? Prayer is probably the best one. Maybe talk to their sponsor. Okay? Maybe, actually, Dion, talk to your sponsor first. Okay, and I'll tell you why, and then I'm ending. I was just in a meeting, and it was one of those where the chair was saying something in between. I'm like, oh man, you can't do that. That's what went through my mind. But I was listening to what he was doing, and he was doing nothing wrong. All he did was repeat what people were saying. Thank you for saying this. And that's all he was doing. See, I had to take a little bit longer. And why am I upset about it anyway? Tell you why. Because I wasn't the center of attention. All right. I love you. I'm telling myself, what are you going to do? Not like me? Actually, please don't do that. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said that. Because I give up. I care what happens to you. I hope you care what happens to me. I love you. Peace out. And have a